Tell us a little bit about how you got there. So how was the script presented? Did you have to go to casting? What was your choice that drew you towards taking the part?
I should reflect on this more, but I don't always know why something makes me so excited. I think it's because it goes against some like the norm, and yet there is an aspect of my wheelhouse that I haven't been able to really utilize or express for a while. Comedy is really what started me in this business and on this road, and I haven't had the opportunity to do as much physical humor as I would normally love to do. And when this script came up and I read it and I knew who was attached, so I could visualize who was in it, and it just made, Ke Huy Quan, it just made sense perfectly. Initially, she was written very gothic and dark, and so I did play it like that. I did like some dark makeup for the audition, and had my hair very like straight and very sardonic, self-deprecating, but I got to just play with a character. And I with humor, with comedy, there's not many things coming down the line
Mm.
anymore. There's this thing in Hollywood where you have to play drama to be taken seriously. And there's no joy like comedy. And
Yeah,
there's no joy on set in my experience, like there is a comedic set, a healthy comedic set. You get to be ridiculous and
yeah.
silly, and some of it fails. You know the rule of pasta, where I've never actually done this, but I know it's a rule where you don't know if it's done. So you take out like a noodle and you fling it
Throw
against,
it on the ceiling and see if it sticks.
and if it sticks, it's supposed to be done, right?
Yeah, 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 that's right. I've done it loads of times. My husband goes crazy. He goes, "Don't you dare!" I'm like, but then we'll know it's cooked.
And I kind of feel like I feel like that's kind of how it is like comedy is like flinging pasta all the time. Often the director or the producers are kind of the one that's getting it flung in their
Right,
faces.
right,
You just don't know if it's going to stick or if it's going to like
right.
slowly fall off. But the act of throwing pasta is so much fun.
You've worked with some really interesting people. Who would you say you've had the most fun experience with that you could kind of talk to say, wow, I'd like to live that again?
I'm going to thank my parents for this, because sometimes when I'm in the moment, it's hard to say. But obviously, Crazy Stupid Love was an incredible experience. It was the
Right.
first. Um, when I got to there was a scene where I held a gun to John Malkovich's head, and he like he stopped the scene and he took the gun and he pulled it closer. I was like, I need to feel it against my skull. And I remember telling this to my parents, and they were like, "You what? That's so cool." And I
Oh,
look back at that. Honestly, I have memories with Jeremy Irons, with Scarlett Johansson. I have worked with really great, kind people,
right.
and I think each one presents something
It's a
special
memory.
and unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which builds a relationship. But you've also had a strong career in modeling. Um, well, right, you say that though, but like everything has a journey, right? Yeah,
yeah.
in the time that you did it, you kind of that was your moment. And then you move into acting. And you've been at the front of camera. So where do you see yourself going it, sort of in the next layer? Writing, producing,
Well, so I
acting?
moved to Los Angeles to be a filmmaker. I had no intention to be in front of the camera whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Not in modeling, not in acting. In fact, I did not like actors. I genuinely didn't understand them. I thought, why are you doing what you do? Does it really make the world a better place? Are you expressing any art? You're just being, because I was wanting to be a director and writer. So I'm from the place of creating, and I never saw actors as artists. I mean, I know that that the crew on a film has always been, to me, the
Key.
beating heart of a film. I am never as comfortable around just cast as I am around crew. I feel like these are the people that turn imagination into pictures.
Yeah, the
And
creative process is
it's such
incredible.
a unique
Yeah.
language, and the way that they see their individual place, like creative minds just coming together, I think is one of the most beautiful things. That's really what allowed me to start saying I acted,
Hmm.
because I had to understand that that is part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like I act in films. I don't, I still don't always feel like I'm an actor. Were you big at playing pretend when you were young?
Honestly, no, no, not
No?
I didn't know. I'm guessing did you do that with like yourself?
My pretend world, I think, and my reality as a child have blended together so much because I had such a vivid imagination. I think that was a coping mechanism because I was
Right,
overwhelmed with the world,
right, right, right.
something, and I feel like, I'm sure that that's not uncommon with
Hmm.
artists.
Hmm.
But yeah, going into different roles honestly feels almost more natural
Right.
than having to be myself. I think there's a lot of social masking
Hmm.
that takes place when I'm,
Hmm.
presenting myself.
Yeah, but
But
the good thing is that you knew when you were in role and when you were out, right? I mean, you knew how to separate.
you know what? Actually, that did take me some time, especially with gender.
Hmm.
As non-binary, I feel like I went through a period of time where I really felt like I had to always be this person that I never felt connected to.
Right, 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 right.
And it wasn't until I came out as non-binary that I could honestly separate myself from the rules that I did. When I was being cast as certain things, I would feel like, well, I'm cast as this because they saw this role in me,
Right,
even
right,
though I'm playing pretend.
right, right,
I don't know if they feel like it. So now I feel like I have that expectation to kind of
right.
live up to. Now, now I get to put on whatever dress or glam makeup and things like that, and
Or not, as a case may be.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I
not give a fuck at that, which is
yeah,
brilliant, right? It's a great place to be. It's liberating.
exactly. And as if, but if it's like a female presenting role, like the role in Love Hurts,
Right.
Ashley is female, um, or identifies as female,
Mhm.
and I would go and I would be able to put on that hair and makeup and get into this character, honestly, more than ever,
Because it was
because
performing. Yeah, for the first time, it was an acceptance. Yeah. Wow.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a different role. Like, I don't, just because people might think of me as one gender, not I know who I am. And
Right.
now that can't influence my work.
Well, how do you feel about what's happening right now with the whole diversity boundaries that are being thrown at us and things, especially in the space that you're in?
I am devastated for the youth more than anything. And I feel like anyone that has entered the LGBTQIA community, the youth is what matters in so many moments of what's going on. They are the ones that are impacted, and
Right.
that the very frail timeline, the evolution of self and acceptance, that is now becoming something that the youth is going to have to fight once again. And I think I'm hoping that people in the entertainment industry, and not just that, but I do feel like everyone wants to double down on
Right.
making sure people know that they are loved, that they are accepted,
Right.
that there's no right or wrong thing being to be. I'm really hoping that it comes in a wave of love. And the best thing to do right now is to really step up. And if you know anyone going through something or questioning, just being open.
Right.
It's
Right.
terrifying. I don't
Yeah.
like it's terrifying. That's how I feel. If I could play anyone, I want to play Sally Ride. Sally Ride is the first female in space. I
Yeah.
went to space camp and aviation camp. I'm obsessed with space and mathematics and
Oh, that's
um,
fantastic.
physics, and it's a big part of my upbringing. Uh, sh-
Nice.
she also really had a fascinating life where, as the woman at the face of American space travel, she was gay. So she was also married and had children and lived this initial life of like having to be that, see, I can go to space and also have a family and be a wife. Her
Oh,
story is
that's
just
crazy. Oh,
amazing and beautiful, and it
that's
combines other
fantastic.
things. Knock on wood someday. But I'm very, very excited for the next movie I do, which is this incredible like indie project that's really, really gritty.
Great.
And we're filming super fast and it's very intimate. And I feel like with the confidence that I have coming from after doing comedy, I hope to kind of carry that.
Capture. Yeah. Capture that moment and take it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be
Honestly,
more.
anytime I just work with good, kind people. Well, first of all, thank you so much, New York Moves Magazine. I am so excited to have done this interview and to get the opportunity to speak with you. And I hope everyone out there somehow finds something to relate to. And you said that you would take this in all its glory. So it is that glory.